morning, everybody. How are we doing? Sammy, United People's TV. It is Thursday, 25th of August. I really should look at the date before I come live. But anyway, we're here. We're on time, 9:33, gang. How are we doing? We're here to talk about Antony. It's, of course, the big story. We're going to speak about Gakpo after PSV were knocked out of the Champions League qualifiers by Rangers last night, who are now in the group stage for the first time in 12 years. Congratulations to them. But Antony's the big talking point, okay? I'll speak to you about him in the comments, because I put a post out on Twitter yesterday that got a fair amount of responses. Not all happy, I'll be completely honest. But Antony to Manchester United over the last week or so was, I think, an 80 million bid went in last Wednesday, and then since then Antony's effectively been doing everything he possibly can to force this move. I'll bring you updates this morning about a 90 million euro bid that is expected to go in today, so that we may well be live again later on today when the bid goes in, and maybe that can be accepted quickly. We'll find out. I'll run through the story. The latest from Mike Vavide from Telegraph, the latest from David Ornstein from The Athletic. Then we're going to be speaking about Martin Dubravka, the Newcastle goalkeeper. We're going to be speaking about Kevin Trapp, with Erik Ten Hag keen to sign a backup goalkeeper. Then we're going to talk about a right back. We're going to talk about Serginho Dest, Denzel Dumfries, Thomas Meunier. Then we're going to talk about Ronaldo. Then we're going to talk about Wan-Bissaka leaving. Then we're going to talk about Erik Bailly leaving. Honestly, you'd think it was the first day of the window, the amount of stuff that United have still got to do. But, well, that's Man United for you. But look, who's down here in the comments? Let me see who's down here. Shane Hughes, I can see you over there on Facebook. Good morning to you, my friend. What members have we got down here? Anthony, good morning to you, sir. Gary Hart on Facebook. Dylan, I can see you there. Brian, Charlie Hughes, how you doing, buddy? And the usual gang as well. John, who else? Arun? That's a new name. I haven't seen you around there much. But look, happy to have you all on board here. Now, yesterday afternoon, I said this on Twitter. An update from Mike McGrath from the Telegraph, sort of, giving a bit more insight into what Antony really is doing to try and force this move. And look, his agents have flown into London, and they have no intention of leaving until the transfer window closes. He's doing absolutely him and his agents, Antony and his agents, are doing absolutely everything they possibly can to force this transfer. Now, Antony went back to Ajax. I think he was at training yesterday, because every day that he's not in training with Ajax, currently he's getting fined 50,000 euros. Now, he is actively trying everything he possibly can to force that move. And let me bring in the updates last night from Mike Vavide, from, of course, the Telegraph. And we know that he is your number one source when it comes to Ajax transfer news. He said this: Antony has told Jerry Hamstra and Huntelaar, who are, of course, I think, effectively the new technical department in Ajax. And any Ajax fans in the comments you might be watching, you can let me know. But obviously, it was Overmars, Van der Sar and Ten Hag before. I think Jerry Hamstra's come in with Huntelaar to sort of replace what was previously their working model. Antony has told them that it would have a big impact on him if they decide to refuse to sell him. He has a full personal agreement with Manchester United and would sign until 2027. So the personal terms, it's not an issue. Personal terms, fine, done. Contract length, fine, done. 5-year contract. That's not irrelevant, but it's effectively already done. It's easy. It's in the bag. The problem is the fee. And this is where today, I believe, is going to be a very important day. Mike Vavide here saying that Ajax are expecting this 90 million euro bid to be officially submitted on Thursday. And the final transfer fee could end up being 95 million euros, excluding bonuses. Now, if there's any Ajax fans in the comments, honestly, what's your gut instinct? Not your gut instinct, but what's your reaction to this? To the idea of Antony being sold? Because, of course, back when Mike McGrath, I remember, first released the article saying that Ajax wanted 130 million in total for Martinez and Antony, 50 million and 80 million. There was a widespread feeling that Ajax wouldn't let both go. And now they are letting both go, and for more than 130 million for sure. Washington, you sent a super chat, buddy, but you haven't said anything, so I can't read anything out there. Look, Aaron? I'm going to go Aaron. Been following you since Erik Ten Hag signing, lifelong Ajax fan. And thank you very much, man. Nice to have you on board. It's good to have a few Ajax fans here. But 90 million euros is a hell of a lot of money. Now, the first thing I would say about this before, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through the full David Ornstein article. There's a bit more information there. The first thing to remember about the Antony situation, in a very similar way to the Darwin Núñez situation. Now, when Darwin Núñez was sold by Benfica to Liverpool for €100 million in total, the package, it was because Benfica owed 20%. I can't remember the club that they bought him from. No idea, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, they owed 20% of that fee to the previous club who owned Darwin Núñez before he came to Benfica. And that's the same situation that's going on here with Antony and with Ajax. Because Ajax owed 20% of any fee that they receive for Antony to Santos, where they signed him from. So there's going to be an inflation on top of that fee. So not only are we going up looking at the fee because, well, Antony's a decent player. If we're being realistic and we're trying to come at this with no red-tinted specs, we're probably saying 60 million, between 60 and 80 million would seem like a fair, probably a little bit more than 60 million because Anthony Gordon's going for 60 million. 70 million for Antony would seem fair in the context of the market. But add on to that the fact that it's United, add on to that the fact that it's the 25th of August, add on to that the fact that Premier League clubs this summer are going absolutely crazy. Like West Ham are putting in 40 million bids for Paqueta from Lyon. I mean, Newcastle are about to sign Alexander Isak for 60 million. Anthony Gordon and Chelsea for 60 million. Chelsea trying to sign Fofana for 80 million from Leicester. Honestly, there are so many bonkers figures going around. I'm not going to lose any sleep about signing what is an extremely talented, young, Brazilian, exciting winger who has huge potential. Antony will come as an unfinished product. Somebody who needs a good amount of polishing, but he's a completely and utterly different type of player to what we've got in our attack. Rashford, Sancho, Martial, Ilanga, all right-footed, quite a lot of similarities in all of their games. Antony is a completely and utterly different type of player. Completely. Somebody who cuts it on the left-hand side, off the right-hand side, onto his left foot. Somebody who's got flair, trickery. Completely and utterly different type of player, different profile of player. And I know full well that's a lot of money. And I know full well that's overpriced. But I will be happy if we sign him. Absolutely will be happy if we sign him. Go down here in the comments what he's saying. Washington, he's saying, shout out, Sam. I was saying, me and the madam are watching from Mzansi. Mzansi, where's that? Mzansi. Watching South Africa, there you go, cool. All right, man, how you doing? Nice to have you on board. But look, I don't want, I suppose the thing I'm trying to say here in the comments, don't get too hung up on the price tag, people. I know it's overpriced. I'm not here suggesting it's not. It's way overpriced. I personally think it's probably somewhere between the 30 to 40 million overpriced. But you know what's better than that? Well, sorry, what's not better than that? Not signing anybody. Now, we'll have a conversation about Cody Gakpo. Trust me, that's coming a little bit later in the show. But we're speaking about Antony first, and I'm going to run through the David Ornstein article, but there's more information on it, and we'll run through that. Tom, let me know where you're watching from. Hey, Dads, I tell you what, I'll be watching Brazil. If we sign Antony, I'll be watching Brazil with a real keen eye at the World Cup. Casemiro, woo! I'll speak about him a little bit later in the show. Fred, and Antony as well. Yes, please. I mean, it'll be nice if he's an Iron Robin regen. I don't think he particularly is. But Antony is far from a completely and utterly polished player, right? He's not. And they're typically the players that you reserve these price tags for. 100 million euros for a player who, let's be completely and totally honest together, hasn't had one full, real, massive, consistent season inside the Eredivisie. He's a man who's had wonderful appearances, wonderful moments. Clear he's got potential, but hasn't been able to do that on a week-by-week basis. Darwin Núñez had one breakthrough season in the Portuguese league before he was signed for 100 million. We're about to sign, by the looks of it, Antony for near enough 100 million. The numbers are just... There's no point getting too caught up in the numbers anymore. The numbers are just so... None of it makes any sense. to all of us who have followed football long enough, that we've seen this graph when it comes to football transfer fees. But if you think I'm not going to be excited about the idea of signing Antony simply because we're overpaying for him, I think you're gravely mistaken. I'm really, really excited at the idea. See as what you're saying. As much as I love Ronaldo, it's the same situation. If he wants to leave, let him go. Lovely work, mate, from Bomaderry. It's a cool name. Bomaderry, Australia. Wicked. But look, I'll speak about Ronaldo. Ronaldo's coming later in the show. Don't worry about that, ladies and gents. There's a little bit of I wouldn't say a little bit of an update, so well, we'll speak about it. Warren, what are you saying? Are we going to see the same reaction from you today just for you in the street? I hope not. I hope not. I pressed end and I was like, balls. To anybody who caught that, somebody immediately put that on Twitter. Fair play to you. I like that. Lou, you're saying, Sam, would it be better if United uses this 90 million up front to go in for Frenkie de Jong again? Is Antony the player we need more, or Frenkie de Jong? The player we need more is Frenkie de Jong. But no, let's not go anywhere near the Frenkie de Jong situation. That's dead and buried. What looks to have transpired with Frenkie de Jong this summer is that Erik ten Hag's belief that Frenkie de Jong would join Manchester United must have been a little bit misplaced. That's the feeling I get. I actually think United, look, apart from not going into the de Jong situation a little bit earlier, I think we've done a lot of it right with Frenkie de Jong, agreeing the fee, going up, even going in with a higher fee with more up front to try and force the situation. We did a lot right. But we walked into the storm, man. The Barcelona storm this summer. Trust me, this is what Barcelona have done this summer. Is going to bring in new rules. I mean, or maybe it won't. I feel like it should. Bring in new rules about what clubs can and can't do to twist their books, to try and get around rules. Because it's ridiculous what they did. Dave, does it matter how much we pay? It's what we need. If you're looking at inflated price tags, 80 million for Fofana. I think that's probably the weird. Everybody, let me know in the comments. What do you think is the most inflated transfer fee that you've seen this summer? Because I think it's probably Fofana. I mean, 80 million for, 75, 80 million for Fofana? I think Leicester already rejected like 75 million for him. But that seems crazy. Far more crazy than 100 million for a 22-year-old Brazilian winger who has all the potential in the next 4 years for that 100 million price tag to become 150 million at Manchester United. And these are the sorts of players that I've always considered the most exciting types of signings. Those players who you can see have got real match-winning quality, the sort of quality that makes you shuffle towards the front of your seat in Old Trafford. That's what Antony is going to be. And if he delivers under the manager he loves playing under, he will go up in value. And we might... He leaves in 5 years' time for 150 million to Real Madrid. Then who's laughing? I mean, that'll work out quite nicely. Well, not leaving for Real Madrid. Ruben, how you doing, buddy? Good morning, Sam. The next 2-3 years, the asking price for Antony will become a norm for a player of his calibre. It's how the market works. This summer really has massively inflated market values again. And, well, it's just going to keep getting worse and worse, isn't it? The disparity in spending in European leagues, top 5. Premier League dwarfing everybody this summer. Dwarfing. It's good for us. It's good for the Premier League. We're going to be watching the most competitive league in the world. It's not really good for everyone else. Vicky, good morning. I'm late, but happy birthday to Paula. Happy birthday to Paula tomorrow. Remind me tomorrow as well. Friday, might have to give you a shirt, Paula. Look at that. Why not? Sorry, I'll give you a shirt, Paula. There you go. Feeling in a good mood. Don't know why I laughed at that. One more super chat here. Jason, anyone upset about the Antony price tag? Guess what? Cue up Barry. I'll bring Barry later on in the show. At some point, Barry will come in here. But I'm going to go down here, look, and I'm going to look at your suggestions for what you think are the craziest price tags that we've seen so far this summer. Anthony Gordon, you mentioned it down there. Gordon, Nunez, and Fofana. Darwin Nunez, I think 100 million for a player who scored that many goals. I mean, Declan Rice, 150 mil. I imagine that I'm going to put Declan Rice in the same category as Jadon Sancho when Dortmund didn't want to sell. I think that's pretty much the same thing. Lots and lots of you are mentioning Fofana down here. See, I personally think that's Tchouaméni. Oh my God! But we've got Casemiro. I mean, ideally we would have signed Tchouaméni, probably, but you never know. Look, it is what it is. Tchouaméni wanted Real Madrid. He was never going anywhere else. Cucurella, that's another one. 60 million for Cucurella. 62.5 million actually, I think. There's been... All I'm trying to say is this. There's going to be like 5 or 6 transfers, I would probably argue, that are going to be more overpriced than Antony to Manchester United this summer. When you look at it. Anthony Gordon, if he goes to Chelsea for the 60 plus million, I mean, come on. Are you bonkers? Wesley Fofana, if he goes to 75, 80 million, I mean, seriously. Alexander Isak to Newcastle, I mean, it's a lot, but he's a very, very talented player. Cucurella for 62.5 million. There's just a lot of football, there's a lot of money in the Premier League right now. And Ajax are going to get a big chunk of it. I'm going to run through the David Ornstein article now. Ty, you're saying, morning Sam, I think I have blind faith, but man, I would take the blinkers off. In my opinion now, if you have any hope of Manchester United signing Frenkie de Jong, I personally feel like it's misplaced. Look, I feel like it if you want, but the way that it's gone, yeah, as I said, I think it feels like Erik ten Hag made a mistake in how confident he was that Frenkie de Jong would join or wanted to join. And whether that means that he never really heard it from the horse's mouth, I don't know. Maybe we'll find out a bit more information after the summer's finished. But this summer's transfer window is crazy. Let me jump in now to the David Ornstein article from The Athletic with more information on this Antony deal and the Antony bid that should be going in. He's saying that Manchester United are now confident of securing a deal for Antony. David Ornstein and Laurie Whitwell. Man United are confident of reaching an agreement to sign Antony before September the 1st. United are believed to have somewhat cooled their pursuit of Cody Gakpo, and I will speak about that next. Antony's representatives are in London to complete that move. Like I said, the two clubs have discussed a higher fee than the 80 million originally offered. Some sources placing the figure at 94 million. That was something that Laurie Whitwell said yesterday. But Ajax have reportedly set an asking price of 100 million for the player. So whether that's going to be, I don't know, 90 mil up front with 10 mil in add-ons. I think the Darwin Núñez deal was 80 million up front with 20 million in add-ons. Both of them are very similar age. Both of them attacking prospects. Darwin Núñez obviously scored an absolute bucket load of goals last year and in the Champions League too. Antony, by comparison, had a relatively modest season. But both of them are top quality talent from Europe's other leagues who are unknown inside the Premier League. So they're quite similar. Although I'm sure some fans will argue that Darwin Núñez was more of a sure thing, but I don't particularly think he was. Jordan, we need another mid-first. Yes, Antony is what Ten Hag wants, but let's look to the here and now. I'd take Antony in January at a price of 80 million. I do not think his price tag is going to go down after a World Cup. That's why I think so anyway. Presumably anyway, unless he has an absolute stinker of a World Cup. Let's hope not. Ajax was of course left out of their 1-0 win over Sparta Rotterdam. Look, today is when we're going to get this 90 million euro bid. Ajax have, as I said, I do have I'll say this to any Ajax fans in the comments as well. I do have an element of sympathy for you in terms of how much your team's getting shredded this summer. What I do not have sympathy for you is putting a 50 million price tag on Martinez, receiving a bid for that, and then saying, actually, never mind, we want more. What I don't have sympathy for is Ajax putting an 80 million price tag on Antony, receiving that bid, and then going, oh, you know what? No, we want more. Ajax have done it with two different players. They got away with Martinez and him not kicking off a stink because the deal was sorted relatively quickly, and United really wanted him, so we kind of upped the bid pretty quickly. But with this Antony situation, you're now seeing a player who's revolting against the club, rebelling, not turning up for training, being left out of squads. And there's no doubt there's going to be a lot of Ajax fans that are going to be questioning Antony. Oh, you said you loved the club, X, Y, Z. Yeah, he did love the club, but the club said he could leave for a certain price. A club came in and offered to pay that, and you've rejected it. And I tell you what, this made me laugh. I've got to be honest, man. This made me laugh. It's coming from Hamstella, who's he write for? Is it I think he writes for the Telegraph as well. Let me check. Not sure where he writes for. Can't remember. Anyway, Chelsea have told Ajax that they only want to permanently sell Hakim Ziyech. They are currently asking for too much money And should nothing change, Ajax would have to look at other options. And I've got to be completely honest. I mean, karma. I'm sure Ajax would have wanted a nice cut price deal for Ziyech. But look, this is a consequence of Chelsea knowing that they're about to receive 90 to 95 million for Antony. This is a consequence of Chelsea knowing that they've only got 6 days left in the market. It's just, you want to call it, as my mate James Allcott calls it, the ripple effect. This is a perfect ripple effect, where one transfer situation knocks on and affects another. It is what it is. So many people, so many clubs are being overcharged this summer. United overpaid for Martinez. United got an absolute steal in Tyrell Malacia, and that's what we need a good scouting department for, all right? There are so many gems like Tyrell Malacia across world football. You just need the right scouts to identify them. And that's something that Manchester, if I'm going to say one of the most significant things that United have got to do behind the scenes this season, it's completely and utterly revamp our transfer department. John Murtough shouldn't and can't be in charge of it next year. And number two, we need a brand new, state-of-the-art scouting department with eyeballs everywhere, because I've not got no doubt that we've got eyeballs and contacts in every country. We've got to be better at identifying more Malacias so we can stop signing Antonys when they're 90 million and we can start signing them when they are 25, 30 million. Yes, we're overpaying for Antony. No, I don't care. The frustrations, I think, for United fans is the fact that they wanted more, and we want more this summer. And I actually tweeted this yesterday. I think it was this one over here, right? You can let me know what you think about this in the comments, because I'll be honest, I got some real pelters for this on Twitter yesterday. I said Antony, Casemiro, Martinez, Erik and Malacia, a backup goalkeeper and a possible right back. I said, yeah, I think I'd be happy with that if that was Manchester United's summer transfer window. Now, of course, you only have a finite amount of characters on Twitter. I am by no means suggesting that it's a perfect transfer window, because it's not. And I always maintain early doors in the transfer window. I said, you know what? If we don't get Frenkie de Jong, then I don't know whether I can consider this summer transfer window a success. And then Casemiro came out of nowhere. Took us all by surprise. I believe that Frenkie de Jong was if I was going to choose, if I had the ideal situation, if I could choose between signing Frenkie de Jong or Casemiro, I think I would have gone Frenkie de Jong, because I know how fundamental he would have been in Ten Hag's system. But I can't be upset about signing Casemiro, man. I know people are going to be hung up about how much we pay for him, by the fact that he's 30, but right, he is literally one of the best defensive midfielders in the world. And I've been crying out for a defensive midfielder for so many years that just signing Casemiro on his own is going to put a smile on my face. And Jonathan, look, right, you're spot on here. This is very symptomatic of Manchester United post-Fergie, right? And you can probably trace it back further than there if you want to. Manchester United have got a recent historic record of just overpaying dramatically and underselling when we sell. Well, Dan James was one of the only players that we've sold for profit in a long time. It's because we signed players at the wrong points in their career. Signing a player like Antony for that amount of money at his age, if it pays off, he will be worth more in a few years' time. And you've got to back Erik Ten Hag to get the most out of him. I don't think that this summer's perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But if you had told me, if you didn't put any names alongside it, if you had told me at the start of summer, Sam, you're going to sign one winger, you're going to sign one attacking winger for 90 million euros, you're going to sign one defensive midfielder for 70 million euros, you're going to sign one centre-back for around about 70 million euros, a left-back for 15 million euros, you're going to get an elite possession-based midfielder for free, you're going to sign a backup goalkeeper, and you're going to sign a backup right-back. I mean, I would have said yes, please. I would have said yes, please. Of course, we all want more. But if we get 7 signings in one window, that's it's a lot. It is a lot. It's just the Frankie de Jong situation is going to leave a sour taste to this window because it's going to be the first story that's remembered for it. I think so anyway. Brooks, let me read your comment now. Hi Sam, living in Amsterdam. I'm jealous. I absolutely love Amsterdam. I haven't been there in a while. I want to go again. Hi Sam, living in Amsterdam. We already anticipated for Antony. It's a shame, but we know that we are a club that make talent big and sell. Ajax will continue to find talent and get better. I mean, that is the Ajax model, and it's worked for Ajax so well. It's just that a lot of things have happened at once this summer. I suppose Ajax weren't exactly anticipating on selling Halle. That's a bit of a surprise one. Gravenberch was always leaving. Mazraoui was always leaving. Tagliafico could potentially be leaving. Timber might have been leaving at the start of the window. He stayed after Louis van Gaal was like, nah, mate. Martinez, he's gone. You ideally probably wouldn't have sold him. And then Antony, well, you definitely probably wouldn't have sold him. But there's just so much money going around this summer. Honestly, like, maybe I'll do a video on it. But the numbers, honestly, are staggering when it comes to the Premier League spending compared to any other league around us. It's mad. Sorry, Sam, saw this somewhere. PSG terminating Herrera's contract. If so, what's your thoughts on bringing him back in the short term? Luke looks like he's on his way back to Athletic Bilbao. I'll be honest, that is a pretty cool transfer, isn't it? Herrera going back. I remember that before. What was the name of is it Muniain? I think it was Muniain. When Bilbao played us off the park. I was under Fergie, I think. Herrera was in that team too. They absolutely dominated us. Derek, really appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. I've got a lot of messages about that. And yeah, they're the videos that I'm always most proud of because I think they're the videos that can go that little bit further. I think it can now be used as propaganda for the next protest. It can now be used as evidence. So I'd say, look, this is what the protest's done. Let's go and make it bigger and better. And I think it can be used to help push the cause. And that's why I always put so much effort into those videos. So thank you very much, Derek. I really appreciate that. But of course, Antony is not the only Eredivisie winger that we're after this summer. There's Cody Gakpo. I did a video just yesterday, and I kind of stood by that, and I stand by what I said yesterday. I said, look, we're looking at an Antony and Gakpo double deal if Manchester United find a club for Cristiano Ronaldo. I think that was the thing that it basically relied on. At this moment in time, that's not the case. But look, this is what David Ornstein's saying about the Cody Gakpo situation. He's saying, look, pursuit of Cody Gakpo is believed to have cooled somewhat. And look, Marseille is the latest club to be linked with the move for Ronaldo. So that's quite, I don't know how many clubs it's been this summer now. Juventus, Bayern Munich, Chelsea, Lisbon. I don't know who else. Marseille, Barcelona probably at some point. I don't particularly see us signing Gakpo or having any chance of really signing Gakpo unless Ronaldo finds a club. Now it's clear at this point, Ronaldo wants to leave. We know that. And it's clear at this point that Ten Hag is willing to let him leave if he finds a club. You're all mentioning Napoli down there as well, Atletico Madrid, Saudi Arabia, so many more. I've even seen the MLS yesterday. Honestly, Ronaldo's agent, Jorge Mendes, has just been putting him in the shop window and going to every club. Do you want him? Do you want him? Do you want him? Do you want him? This is for the greatest goal scorer of all time. It's a sad end. It's a sad end, if I'm being completely honest. To see Ronaldo effectively, it feels like he's begging to find a new club. That's how much he wants to leave. And I've already done my videos on Ronaldo, and I took one down. You know what happened there. Peter, you joined us. Remember, let me know where you're watching from, buddy. But going back to Cody Gakpo, of course, he played in the Champions League qualifier against Rangers yesterday, and he struggled. The whole PSV team struggled. That's why they lost 1-0, and now Rangers are into the group stage of the Champions League for the first time in 12 years. Cody Gakpo had, you can see where the natural assets of his game are. His strength, his poise, his running with the ball at his feet, but he lacked a little bit of composure yesterday on the big occasion. I'm not going to judge a player off the back of one performance. That would be insane. That's just not right or wrong. But Cody Gakpo, according to David Ornstein, at this moment in time, the interest is being called. Now, there's going to be people who are jumping on this going, Sam, it was before the protest, and we heard rumours of Casemiro and Cody Gakpo and Antony and Frankie de Jong, 300 million. I did a video on it. It was like 300 million plus more signings, and I covered it all. Was that just a curveball? Was that just some sort of distraction by the Glazers to try and take away from the protest? If it was, it didn't work, lads, because the protest was the biggest I've ever seen. It was a peaceful protest. It was a fantastic protest. And I don't think any of the reports or any stories of that took away from how good that protest was. But I've always maintained in my mind, maybe I've not been saying it on the channel, that the only way I think that we're going to get Antony and Gakpo is if Ronaldo leaves. And at this moment in time, he's no closer to that exit door because nobody wants to sign him. And what you're saying about Gakpo down here, you're saying, look, I just don't get Gakpo. Especially if we sign another striker, we're going to have Gakpo, Rashford, Martial and Garnacho all competing with Sancho for that left spot. Yeah, the left spot's going to become very interesting because Antony coming in, right, unequivocally, he's playing on the right wing, Sancho's playing on the left wing. If or when we sign Antony, our starting front three is going to be Sancho on the left, Antony on the right, and probably Martial up front. You saw how much of an impact he had when he came on second half against Liverpool. He seems to be rejuvenated at the moment. Please keep this up. Then you've got Garnacho there. You've got Rashford there. You've got Elanga there as well, who I feel at this particular moment in time is a good squad player for Manchester United. He's maybe a little bit harsh to say this, but he's effectively the attacking equivalent of Scott McTominay. Somebody who I can see the work rate, I can see the intensity, I can see the enthusiasm. But at this moment in time, his technical ability just isn't high enough to be commanding a starting spot for Manchester United. That's why I think about Elanga. But I do think he's a good squad player. I can't see Gakpo. Yeah. If something changes with Ronaldo in the next 4 or 5... And this is the thing about Ronaldo. I don't know how or where that changes. I don't know what Champions League team out of nowhere at this point comes in and signs Ronaldo unless Manchester United agree to terminate his contract, which still sounds to me like such a ridiculous idea. But if Manchester United really are keen to not have a Ronaldo in the team who doesn't want to be there, and the sort of negative energy that would bring, and no one's questioning Ronaldo's professionalism when it comes to the training ground. I imagine he's turning up on time and he's leaving on time, just like he would have done his entire career. I'm not questioning that, but I'm questioning the fact that Ronaldo's sitting there for 85 minutes on the bench against Liverpool at Old Trafford. And if Ronaldo's on the... He might come in against Southampton because this is about squad management, but I don't particularly think that Ten Hag has any chance of keeping Ronaldo happy unless he starts every game, because it's Cristiano Ronaldo. It's coming toward the end of his career. I don't know whether United will terminate that contract. And if they do, then we've got to go out and sign someone like Cody Gakpo. We need another body there. But let's find out what goes on. Maybe this Ronaldo situation will surprise me. But in my opinion, we're going... Well, not in my opinion, this is happening. We're going all out for Antony, right? Casemiro, Antony and Martinez. Your three major signings, one in each position on the pitch. One attacker, one midfielder, one defender. A semi-new spine, if you want to call it that. And the idea that we might go after Cody Gakpo, in my opinion, revolves around what happens over the next 7 days with Ronaldo. Quite a few of you down here in the comments. Tell you what, my old boss Stu might be pretty happy with that. Just went to his wedding in Glasgow. But no, I don't think Ronaldo's going to be going anywhere near Rangers, and I don't think Rangers are going to be paying him $500,000 a week. Sod knows, because that's a big problem here. What's right, Fabrizio Romano tweeting about Martin Dubravka. So let's move on and let's start talking about the next point, because a backup goalkeeper is on the list as well. As I say, We're here on the 25th of August, and if Erik ten Hag manages to finish his tick list about what he wants to be done, he would sign Antony, he would sign a backup goalkeeper, he would sign a backup right back, he would settle loan Twanzebe, he would settle loan Phil Jones, he would settle loan Aaron Wan-Bissaka. There's so much still left to do. And Kevin Trapp, obviously the Eintracht Frankfurt goalkeeper, was linked as a potential backup to David De Gea. He said this morning about the transfer. He said, I received a written proposal from Manchester United, a world top club. Yesterday, I informed those responsible at both clubs that I had decided to stay at Eintracht Frankfurt. So Kevin Trapp, he's off the cards. Now, I've got to be honest. Who can blame him? Eintracht, he literally won the Europa League with Eintracht Frankfurt last year. They're now in the Champions League this year, and he's their number one goalkeeper, and has been with them on that whole journey. It shouldn't come as too much of a surprise that he doesn't want to come and effectively be competition for David De Gea. It's a massive step down for him in that sense, in terms of where he is positioning in his career. He's number one. He doesn't want to become a number two. Fair play. I'm not going to lose my shit over this, right? There's no surprise in that whatsoever. So who else are we going after? Because Kevin Trapp's off the cards. Well, that's where Martin Dubravka comes in. Kind of came as a little bit of a curveball yesterday. David Ornstein confirming it, saying Manchester United have made a loan offer for Newcastle goalkeeper Martin Dubravka. Now, what do you think about that? I remember Dubravka playing against us and thinking, this guy's turning into like peak Buffon. He was one of those players who did that, for sure, I remember that. But Fabrizio Romano has just tweeted about it, so let me pull up this tweet on this. And again, it's a backup goalkeeper, people. I'm not in a horrible way, but I don't particularly care. Because David De Gea is obviously going to be playing this season. The competition might help him, but we're not going to be able to sign a goalkeeper of the calibre and quality of Ederson and Alisson by signing a backup to David De Gea. And they're the sorts of goalkeepers that are going to change the system at Manchester United in a good sense. But what's your opinion on this Dubravka situation? You let me know in the comments below. But yeah, look, Fabrizio Romano's just tweeted this. Let me pull this up for you here. This is what he is saying. Manchester United's official proposal to Newcastle. Let me go full screen for you. Manchester United's official proposal to Newcastle for Martin Dubravka is for a loan move until June. Just been told it includes 2 buy option clauses discussed, around about €5 million. Fine. Cool. 5 million. It's done. Martin Dubravka's not going to change, move the needle much in Manchester United. I've got to be completely honest. What's wrong with Tom Heaton? Maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe Tom Heaton's not good enough in that possession-based football either. But I don't particularly think that Martin Dubravka is either. He plays for Newcastle. Absolute hoof city. It's a bit weird. Ryan, you're going down here saying, look, it's a loan. I reckon Ten Hag's still eager on Henderson form. After that Henderson interview, I don't know whether he's burned all the bridges at Manchester United. Maybe he hasn't burned all the bridges, but he literally didn't talk to Erik ten Hag. He said, quote unquote, I didn't want to talk to him because I knew he would have tried to keep me at the club. So he's just completely blanked his new manager because he was so steadfast on what happened before. It's not exactly the best start to a relationship between Henderson and Ten Hag if he is going to be part of the future. Jonathan, you're saying, look, Heaton was superb at Villa until injury. I'm perfectly happy with him as a number 2. Genuinely, I think Heaton's fine as a number 2. Don't particularly think that Dubravka comes in and changes the narrative of De Gea's season. Comes in and all of a sudden De Gea becomes this huge, perfect sweeper keeper. Dubravka is not that sort of keeper either. Let's find out. But Dubravka, we've put in a loan offer to sign him. And it's not just a backup goalkeeper we're looking at as well. As I say, I hope, and I genuinely hope, this is the last summer. We're on the 25th of August. We're here on United People's TV talking about how much stuff we've still got to do in this transfer window. I'm bored of it. I'm tired, Robbie. I just want United. I want to go into the transfer window on deadline day with my feet up. Maybe we'll be able to do that because we sort it all out on the 30th. But I don't like this rush. Still don't like this rush at the end. It's mad. But look, we're still going after a right back. This is coming from Paul Hurst from the Times. This is what he's saying. Saying Ten Hag wants another right back to put pressure on Diogo Dalot, who has started the first 3 games of the season. He is willing to sell Wan-Bissaka if a reasonable bid comes in. Erik Bailly had his medical before a season-long loan to Marseille on Wednesday, and I'll run through that. Marseille will sign Bailly on a permanent $5 million deal. Really is cheap, that. Really is cheap. Where's the list of right-backs you've written down there? There it is. This. Serginho Dest was on United's shortlist for the right-back slot, but the American has told Barca he wants to stay. Denzel Dumfries, the Inter Milan fullback, is also being considered, as is Thomas Meunier. In my opinion, I think this is far, far more important than signing Martin Dubravka or any alternative goalkeeper. I don't think we're going to... Tom Heaton just strikes me as like a Sergio Romero type backup goalkeeper. Somebody who's going to be absolutely happy to be number 2, somebody who can be relied on when he comes into the team, and somebody who's not going to cause a fuss. Decent character, decent personality, absolutely fine. I think so anyway. But a right back and an option to Diogo Dalot is critical because at some point, Diogo Dalot will get injured this season. There's no way he's playing 60 games, playing a game every 3 days. Not happening. Brandon Williams looks like he's going to be staying at the club, but Ethan Laird's gone out on loan. Wan-Bissaka doesn't suit the system. I mean, do we have any other choices at right back? I don't think we particularly do. I'd say that's far more important than signing a backup goalkeeper. And at this moment in time, we haven't really gone after one. We've been linked with Dest, we've been linked with Meunier, we've been linked with Dumfries. We haven't made the move for one. So I would rather that accelerates in the next 24, 48 hours. We've got to move fast on this one. I've seen people talking about Hakimi down in the comments. I don't think we're going to go after Hakimi. I don't think so anyway. Bill, let me know where you're watching from, buddy. Love to have you on board. Jonathan, you say, look, Sanchez and Wan-Bissaka, the most ridiculous signings Woodward made. It still makes me laugh in horror at the idea, genuinely, that Manchester United scouted 800 right backs. And at the end of that whole process went, you know what? That one. Aaron Wan-Bissaka. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Lil Nutsy, I don't know why I love it, man. Asking down there, saying, is Jan Sommer part of the conversation? Yeah, of course, we've heard that too. I think Jan Sommer would be a decent backup goalkeeper. But let's see what goes on. I'm not particularly fussed. I'm not going to lose sleep over anything to do with the backup goalkeeper, but it's clear that Erik Ten Hag wants one. Antony down there saying, look, why didn't we keep Laird in the team? Maybe Erik Ten Hag had a discussion with Laird and said, look, what would you rather have? I would quite like to have you here as a backup to Diogo Dalot. I think you can add some competition, getting a few cup game appearances. Or we can send you out on loan. You can probably go to a top-level championship, a championship club that's maybe fighting for promotion. What would you rather do? I imagine at this point in his career, Ethan Laird is a bit of an easy choice. Maybe not an easy choice because it would have been good to stay at United. And the way that we played against Liverpool, there's something there. There's something there if we can hold on to it. Ethan Laird would probably have preferred to play a full season of football like James Garner did the year before. So you can't blame him for that one. Somebody who, of course, we all want to see in this game against Southampton on Saturday is Casemiro. Make sure you drop a like that. I'm sure there are so many of you tuning in right now. I love how the community is continuing to grow. I don't think we're losing our integrity, so make sure you drop a like on the video. I'd love to have you on board. And look, I do this every single morning as well. Make sure you join the community, people. The community is over on Telegram. It's really easy to do. All you got to do is download Telegram. You can download it on your iPhone, Android, or on desktop. There's an app on desktop too. And then follow that link, and it will take you straight through. Join all the channels. Get involved in the conversation. It's about taking the community here and the community on Facebook and Twitter and giving it one home, and that's what that is. But Casemiro, right? Actually, no, before we go on to Casemiro, look, Max Aarons. Max Aarons has been spoken about for a long, long time now. Max Aarons would be a good signing. I'm not going to lie. I would like the idea of signing Max Aarons. But I don't know what. I have no idea. Max Aarons hasn't really. No mention of Max Aarons this summer. I think we were linked with him in January. and the summer before, but nothing this time. Jonathan saying, look, Sam, the protests have achieved by getting the club store closed for the game. How about protests for 2 hours outside and prevent the shop opening all that time? Jonathan, I think something that has significantly more, that carries more weight is a march. Protesting, I ended up outside the forecourt and protesting there is powerful, but starting a march 25 minutes away from Old Trafford, shutting down 3 roads, forcing a huge police, I personally feel that's more of an impact than shutting a shop for an extra hour. And clearly that's what the 1958 think as well. That's why the marches have happened. But Casemiro, we're hearing reports that he has got his work permit sorted and he will train with Manchester United for the first time today. Now, let's find out, because I really want Casemiro to be playing in that team against Southampton. Well, look, there's a Casemiro interview that's just come out. Maybe I'll have to cover that on United People's TV. That could be a cracking video to do. I'm so excited to see what this bloke does. And if there's going to be one picture that gets me excited, nothing's going to be that one. Casemiro having a little handshake with Roy Keane. He's like, don't fill me with hope. Bully, you're asking down there, any news on Jim? All quiet on the Western Front with Jim Ratcliffe at the moment. But the protest will continue. There's another protest happening before the Arsenal game. No doubt it will be big. No doubt everyone's going to join in. And I don't know what was the coverage on Sky like about the protest? Because obviously I was there. I didn't really know. But did Sky cover it? Did they show the pictures of the protest? Did they show the pictures of the march? Or did they just sort of ignore it? I don't know. You let me know. Rob, let me know where you're watching from, buddy. Lovely to have you on board. Let me go down here. I think, Salim, are you doing silly things again? Honestly, every day. It's incredible. Yeah, man. Salim, my Algerian Don, popping in 10 memberships to the gang, bringing in 10 more people into the community. It's absolutely wicked, man. Look, I know I shouldn't be getting this excited. And none of us really should be getting this excited about Casemiro. We're gonna do it anyway. 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 Yes, Barry. Yes, we are. I can't help it. Yes, Barry comes in. Jonathan, no, you're going to be annoyed down there because you're not a Barry fan. But how can you not be a Barry fan? Barry's like the nicest bloke in the world, even though he's not called Barry. Sean Williamson, you need to come on the channel at some point, my friend. Give us a little rendition. But yeah, we're hearing reports that Casemiro has trained with Manchester United for the first time today. Does that mean that he won't be ready to play against Southampton? You'd imagine so. But maybe he's been training behind closed doors. Maybe his fitness is already right up there anyway. I mean, it probably would have been. He's had a full pre-season with Real Madrid, right? Let's find out about that one. Jordan, what are you saying, sir? Why haven't clubs used the Moyes techniques on scouting? He uses Football Manager, and that's a fact. Wow, I don't think anybody's going to be using Moyes' techniques. Although, I'll be honest, he has significantly rejuvenated his career at West Ham. Fair play to him. Fair play to Moyes. I just don't want to talk about him at Manchester United. But look, last couple of minutes, I'll answer as many of your questions as possible. If there's something I haven't answered on Antony or Gakpo or Casemiro or anything, you let me know in the comments. I'll try and answer them. A quick roundup. Antony, that 90 million bid is expected to go in today. 90 million bid. The personal terms are already agreed and the contract until 2027 is right there. Antony wants the move. It's not going to be an issue. It's just that fee. 90 million, somewhere between 90 to 100. We don't know where. That bid will go in today, and when it does, I'll be here on United People's TV to bring you that news. So make sure you subscribe if you're new. Cody Gakpo, we're hearing reports that it's kind of getting cool at the moment. I think that's pretty much related around Ronaldo. And I think if something changes with Ronaldo, I can see United signing. Sorry. If something changes around Ronaldo, I can see United signing 2 attackers. If Ronaldo stays, I can probably only see us signing Antony. But we're going for the backup goalkeeper, Martin Dubravka from Newcastle. There's a bid that's gone in for him. Kevin Trapp, he's staying at Eintracht Frankfurt. Serginho Dest, Thomas Munier. Who else? Denzel Dumfries. Right backs galore. No real bids gone in for any of them. Let me go down here and see what you're asking in the questions. Sam, what's holding up the Antony bid until now? I think it's just pure negotiations. Antony wants to move. United are just deciding what offer to go back in for. I think so anyway. Man, you're saying, look, just Antony, Sam, no Gakpo. Gosh, really hope you're getting both. As I say, that is going to rely completely on what happens with Ronaldo over the next 5-6 days. Bobby, I don't, if I'm being completely honest. I wouldn't say it's completely dead in the water, but it feels dead in the water. I think Samuel Umtiti has now left Barcelona. They're going to be terminating Memphis Depay's contract, and it looks like Aubameyang's going to be going to Chelsea. All three of those off the books. The wage bill does drop down quite a lot, and De Jong will be fine. Koundé will stay there. Now, maybe that changes if Manchester United then have a storming year, and we go back in for De Jong next year with Champions League football, maybe. Maybe it's a different conversation. Mark, I'll be completely honest, right? I find it a bit weird how no one's really gone in for Tielemans. Arsenal have been linked with him all summer long and haven't really done anything. Could kind of get a free run at him. Don't know why. I don't know. Something curious is going on there. It's a bit like the Belotti situation. Belotti's been a free transfer all summer long, and now he's on the verge of joining Roma. Like now, don't know. What is this? Frankie De Jong deal is not done. Craig saying, look, I like him, but he was poor. He, as I said, he lacked that composure against Rangers, but it's very unfair to judge an individual player off an individual performance. That's why I think so anyway. But look, it's 6 days left in this window, and I can't tell you how excited I am for this window to close. Oh my word. It's been exhausting. But look, hey, that's a big part of why the community's grown to how it's grown to. I feel like we've covered it as accurately as possible. Sometimes I've been wrong. Sometimes I've been accurate. I've tried to be as accurate as I can be. But look, make sure you subscribe if you're new. I've got a video coming out at lunchtime in the next hour and a half. I'm going to cover the Antony bid when that goes in later today. 5 o'clock, I think, today as well. I'm going to bring out the Southampton starting 11 video, talking about Casemiro, about Ronaldo, about changes, about anything. It's all going to be covered in that, so make sure you subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you soon. Hopefully, I'll see you later today after we put in that bid for Antony. Hopefully, it gets accepted and this moves quick.